Hello and welcome back to the next episode of Daily Quiz for UPSC Prelims 2025, which is 6th July today. You know, this initiative, I would say, we had started it so that we can help you in revising the current affairs session, which we already did in the daytime. So we frame the questions from the current affairs session and help you revise that in simple words. And also we take up 5 questions at least from the previous year question paper so that it would give you the idea how the exam would be and help you in preparing in the better and smart way. By knowing the previous year questions, that would help you 100% in eliminating money options from there. So we had just started it from the 1st July, and I am sure by when your exam would be near, we would have completed whole previous year questions, and we would at least complete 3 to 4,000 current affair based questions. So without wasting any time, let's start our discussion. Here the first question says about the AK-203 rifles. We discussed about it in the current affairs session. Now let us see what the question says. AK-203 rifles are transferred to India from which country? These rifles are indigenously built, but they are first transferred from which country? And the country's name is it Russia, USA, France, or China? It is definitely Russia, who transfers us the technology by which we make these rifles. But by the time in coming time, we would make it whole indigenously, 100% indigenously. We would develop it in India itself. So right now, Russia is transferring as the technology. So with respect to this question, we should know the concept behind it. We should know how if you remember the discussion, then it would be easy for you. Now, coming to the next question, which speaks as People's Biodiversity Report, which was first time brought out by which of the following states? The People's Biodiversity Report, we discussed about it, how it helps the policy makers, because it is done by citizens itself from the local level. So it was the first time brought out by which of the following states? We discussed about it in our daily current affairs session. So can you guess what is the correct option? Is it Karnataka? Is it Assam? Is it Tamil Nadu? It is 100% Kerala. Wherever there is good, Kerala would be there. Then coming to the third question of today's discussion, it talks about the African swine fever. It is caused by which of the following? Is it a bacterial infection? Is it fungal infection, viral infection, or any other infection? What do you think? We discussed about African swine fever. We discussed about how it is affecting the pigs, how it can harm the farmers, and we also know that the which kind of disease it is. It is definitely viral disease. It is Aspergillosis, the virus which separates this disease. So the African swine fever is caused by the virus, namely Aspergillosis. Now, coming to the question number 4, it talks about which of the following is not a valid restriction on freedom of religion under Article 25. If you were with me during the daytime discussion, we discussed about the religion and the judiciary. We discussed how religion should be separated from judiciary. That judiciary should not come in framing the मतलब कि उनको नहीं चाहे कि वो बताए कि essential feature of a religion what is that, and but what it should do, it should uphold the constitution at the highest level, and wherever any act of a religion is in contradiction with the constitution, that should be put down, that part of the religion, that part of the act of the religion. So with respect to that, we discussed about Article 25. I would like to repeat it for you. Article 25 of the Constitution of India, it guarantees the fundamental right to freedom of conscience and free profession, practice, and propagation of religion. But this freedom of religion is may be restricted. It is not universal. it may be restricted. Now we have to find out which of the following is the correct option, is the option in which the freedom of religion cannot be restricted. Is it public order? Yeah, 100%. If there is public order, there are some issues, for example, uh, like sacrificing of animals, by which if any act can lead to the tensions in the country, so for that basis it can be restricted. Is it morality? 100% for the on the basis of morality this can be restricted. On the basis of health this can be restricted, but there is no scene of national security, so 100% it is the option D, which under which the religion, the freedom of religion cannot be restricted. Further, there is no such judgment which speaks about it. Maybe in future the judges there may be some different judgments related to it. So right now we can say it is the national security on which the freedom of religion cannot be restricted, because usually national security is from the outside threat, and people inside the country does not have anything to do with that. So this is the case here. Now coming to the question number 5, it talks about which of the following countries brought carbon tax first. We discussed about the carbon tax. We discussed about the relation with the United Kingdom, how the government has changed there and how it would impact the Indian foreign policy. So with respect to that, we discussed about we have discussed about the carbon tax with them. There are many things which we have to discuss. For example, we have to discuss about immigration. We have to discuss about many other things. So with respect to that, which of the following countries brought carbon tax first? Is it Finland? Is it UK? Is it USA? Or is it Canada? 100% it is not Canada, neither it is USA. What do you think? Is it UK? No, it is not UK. It was Finland who brought the carbon tax first time. Now this was about today's discussion related to the current affairs. Now coming to the next session, it is about the previous year question papers. Here we have 5 more questions which we have to discuss. The first question talks about in the Mahayana Buddhism. We know there are many sects in the Buddhism, mainly two. One of that is Mahayana Buddhism. The Bodhisattva Avalokitesvara was also known as, is this Bodhisattva Avalokitesvara, in which they say that all forms of the Buddhism is in one form, this Bodhisattva Avalokitesvara. So is it also known as Vajrapani? Is it also known as Manjushri? Is it Padmapani or Maitreya? About Maitreya, it is not that they think that Maitreya has to come, so it is 100% Padmapani. So option C is the correct option. Then coming to the question number 7, the silver coins issued by Guptas were called Rupaka, Krishna Pana, Dinara or Pana. What do you think? It is 100% Rupaka. So the gold silver coins issued by Guptas were called Rupaka. Now coming to the question number 8, here it talks about authors and their texts. I had marked it correctly so that I want to avoid any confusion here. But what I want to say you is that we already discussed such question before, in which these two, Varaha Mihira and Vishaka Datta, were already given. So why I am discussing it right now, because in that question we had the idea about what their approach was, and if the students then read the news, read the previous year question papers in detail, they would have easily corrected this question. So here the Varaha Mihira, he was expert in dramas during Gupta era. His book is Brihat Samhita. Then Vishaka Datta, he was expert in astronomy. His book is Devi Chandra Guptam. Then Sudraka, his book is Mircha Katikam. And then Behana, his book is Prabandha Chintamani. So these are the books written by these authors. That is why I always say that it is often said that the previous year question papers are the Bible for the UPSC aspirants. So if they had read it if they had read the question papers during that time, they would have definitely cracked this exam, because they would have read about the options. It is not about knowing the correct option only, it is about reading the options, reading their little bit work what they had done. It is like the guest paper. You have to study in this way. Read about Varaha Mihira, who he was, read about Vishaka Datta, read about Sudraka, read about Behana. The UPSC is a very vast syllabus. You cannot read about everything in it. So these papers give you the idea how much you have to restrict your knowledge. Now coming to the question number 9, it talks about which of the following was a corporation of merchants in ancient India. So the options are Chatru Vidhimangalam, no it was not. Parishad, it was neither. Ashtadika Gaja, not at all. It was Manigarama, it was the corporation during the ancient, corporation of merchants during the ancient India. Now, so option D is the correct option. Now coming to the question number 10, it talks about which many of the Greeks and Kushans and Shakas embraced Buddhism rather than Hinduism, because you know when Shakas, Kushans and Greeks came to India, they embraced rather embracing Hinduism, which was the local religion, which was the widespread, widely followed religion in India. They did not accept Hinduism as their religion, but they accepted Buddhism. So here we have to find out what was the reason for that. Is it Buddhism was in ascendant, chaos Buddhism Badratha? No, it was not the case. They had renounced the policy of war and violence. It is not, neither this is the case. But caste-ridden Hinduism did not attract them. This is 100% the case. That is why Greeks, Kushans and Shakas did not embrace Hinduism, rather they embraced Buddhism. So this was about today's discussion. I hope you liked it. I hope you liked the questions. I hope you liked the concept behind it. So my sincere request to you guys, please do subscribe to this channel. You know, it helps me, it gives me the motivation. When I see the increase in subscription, it gives me the motivation to make such videos with full hard work and with full heart. So thank you very much for staying with me. Thank you very much again.